What is going on, YouTube? Hope you guys are doing fantastic today. Today, we're bringing you guys the top 5 supports to play in ranked. Starting off with patch 10.6. We're literally 48 hours into the patch. So these things could change in a few weeks, but right now, these are definitely my top 5 gods that I'll be using to climb in ranked. Starting with number 5, we're going to keep it simple. She is the best god in the game at the top level, but she is harder to use at the lower and the mid level. So I'm going to put her at number 5 for that reason alone. If you know how to play Emoja, she goes all the way up to number 1. If you want to find a god to play and you've never played Emoja before, she's a really good god to learn because her skill cap is so high. And if you have questions about like how do you play Emoja, stuff like that, I would recommend watching Twitch, asking in the comments section below, and also just searching up Emoja on YouTube just to watch gameplays to see how the players play with her. Now, starting out with starters. So like I said in yesterday's video, genuinely every single starter is viable now. Sentinels, Benevolence, War Flag. It just depends on the type of comp your team is running and what you need your comp to do against the enemy comp too. In my opinion, with all this in consideration, Benevolence is still her best option unless you need to build a power item somewhere. If you need to build a power item somewhere, Sentinels and War Flag are both pretty good choices, but usually Compassion or Heroism are just the best option for Emoja. I'm going to take a pretty general build, something that you can use in almost all your games. So we're going to go Benevolence into Thebes, into Sov. I'm starting to like Sov again because it is the only remaining aura for physicals that didn't get nerfed. Heartward is on the opposite side. That's magical. That didn't get nerfed. And then I guess Thebes is both ways, but Sov is more. So Compassion, Gauntlet of Thebes, Sov. These are 3 really good items that pair well together. Pridwin is a solid option right now. The coin you're flipping when you buy Pridwin is, 1, you're going to get less Pridwin explosions because your ult is not going to be up nearly as much as like the enemy support. But 2, your ult is going to be up more often because instead of the 140-second cooldown, it's going to be 20% off of that. I think it's still a fine option. If you're not really getting gone on, Pridwin's good. If you are getting gone on, I would recommend Spirit's Robe here over that. For the rest of the build, you kind of just fill it out with whatever you need. Does the enemy have a crit dive god? Go Spectral. Do they have a lot of auto attackers? Midgard. Also, Eldritch Relic Dagger is really good. Just fill in the rest of the build. But these 4 items can be pretty core on any Emoja build, and it'll feel very, very good. Number 4, we're going to go the exact opposite side. We're going to go Sobek. Sobek is a very low tier god at the top end, but he's very high tier at the bottom end. He got his cooldowns buffed. We'll show you that quick. This used to be 14 seconds. It's now 12. This used to be 13 seconds. It's now 12. This used to be 13 seconds. It's now 12. It's now 12, sorry. And then he's got built-in protections in his passive, and his ultimate gives you % increased protections when he ults. Makes him feel super tanky base-wise, and with some protections on top of that in his build, it doubles down and makes him even more powerful. So starting off, Sentinels, War Flag, Benevolence, like I've said, you can go any of them. I would lean towards Sentinels. I think the protections that you get in the early game and the extra healing you get allows you to play a little bit more aggressive. But I think War Flag can be okay if your ADC uses the attack speed pretty well. The thing is, the Sobek is just one of the worst attack speed users in the game because you're not really auto-attacking. So his poor auto-attack reset. If he is forced to try to like get into the back line, he's going to kind of get exploded a lot of the time. So I think Sentinels, and I would usually go Sentinels and Brace here. Now here's where it can get a little funky. You've got 2 options here. A Manticore, which will feel really, really bad with the tier 1 because it gives you no protections, but it gives you a lot of MP5 to spam abilities. And then once you actually finish the Manticore and you get to the full tier 3 of it, you get a lot of damage. The magical damage you get from your Manticore spikes is insane. Don't sleep on the damage. We'll do Manticore in this build because I think it is slightly better than the Thebes. It gets online faster. Your damage gets online faster. You can kind of engage and do whatever you want, and your damage is going to be insane. Next up, for your second slot, you're going to be going Stone of Binding. It fills in perfectly with Manticore. These 3 items together gives you a ton of protections, a ton of health, a ton of MP5. The only thing you're kind of missing on is HP5. And then 4th item, I've been really liking Pridwin. You get your ult up a lot faster. You get that explosion for a lot more damage. And now that the glorious Pridwin is no longer bugged, which they actually fixed in a hot fix this morning, this one here, I just can't click it because it's still out of the game for me. So yeah, this glyph on the right, this one, a lot of damage it adds to. We'll just go for this one for now because I can't show you the other one. Spirit's Robe, very good as a 5th item, and then round it out with E-Staff. This build would work literally every game for Sobek, and it'll feel unreal for him. Number 3, Terra. Who would have thought? Terra's still meta. She's still broken. She still does everything you need her to. She dives, she peels, everything. Another god, you can build War Flag, Sentinels, Benevolence. I'm gonna keep saying it until you guys are like, okay, we get it, you idiot. every starter works. If you guys start typing that, I'll be like, okay, they understand. Every starter works. In my opinion, I like either going Benevolence or Sentinels. I think Warflag is okay. She uses the attack speed okay, and it allows her to fight a lot easier, but I think Sentinels and Benevolence usually feel the best. I've been really liking Benevolence on her because I think the backline style of her feels a little bit better. You can go Benevolence into Thebes, or you can go Sentinels / Warflag into Manticore. These are kind of your two options. If you're playing a bit more peel-oriented, Benevolence Thebes. If you're playing a little bit more dive-oriented, Sentinels Manticore Spikes. Like I said, I like this one a little bit more, so I'll be showing you this side of things. Benevolence, Thebes, Sov, and then some sort of magical defense here works a lot of the time. You can go Heartward, you can go Talisman of Energy. It's actually feeling very, very nice. Not that they buffed it, so it's now 4 stacks instead of 6. Absolution if you need the immunity. Fabulous Hoops can even feel okay. Shoguns if you have a lot of gods that need attack speed. The World is your oyster. Pesty if you need a little bit of anti-heal. We'll throw in Shoguns because I think it makes the most sense. It allows you to do objectives, and I really like Heroism on her, but Compassion works also. If you do go something else here, if you go something like maybe Spirit's Robe because you feel like you're going Compassion, do this instead, where you sacrifice the Shoguns, you get a Spirit's Robe, and then you can Compassion here. This is putting you at almost 60 protections of each. This is giving you a bunch of physical, a bunch of magical, and then another 40 protections of each. Rounds at your belt build really well for both magical and physical gods. And that's Terra at number 3. Number 2, Maui. By golly, this character feels unreal. Everything about him, just like, mwah, mwah, chef's kiss, everything. Every starter. I'm going to do Warflag, though, on Maui because I think the extra aggression makes him feel really good. I think he's unreal with Stone of Binding. Allows him to just have his base damage. He's got super high base damage. I'll show you after I go through the rest of the build. But Warflag, Binding, I really like Sov on him, too. Gives him a little bit of HP 5, physical protections. So if your teammates are getting dove, this gives you a little bit of extra peel. And then I do like the Shoguns on them. Shoguns is always an option. I don't really like either of the other 2 items in this tree. And then any of these options are also fine. If you need a little bit of magical protections for your teammates, Heartward's always going to be good. I actually think this Glyph feels very, very good right now if you're not really going a Glyph anywhere else. Amulet of Silence feels very, very good. And then, obviously, like I said, Warflag into War Banner. Please do not build Spartan Flag. Please, 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 please do not build this item. And Maui feels incredible. There he is at number 2. And then lastly, the number 1 support to be playing in your ranked games if you want to win. What's your guess? Put your guess down below. Let's see if you know. Do you know? No cheating? Do you know the number 1 support? Quick hint. I talked about him in the patch notes video on 10.6 from Tuesday. And you got it. No, not you. You're an idiot. It's Kuzumbo. This god is super, super, super simple. Go Sentinels or Warflag. Either of these 2 is fine. You just want to become as tanky as possible to all forms of defense or to all forms of damage. Manticore, Binding, Ridwin, and then you want the yellow Pridwin, the one that will be coming to the patch, the one that double procs. And then I would go something like a Spirit's Robe here into a Divine or a Deso here, depending on if you think they're healing a lot. If they're not really healing a lot, the Deso cooldown resets allows you to 1v5 pentakill. And then, not too surprisingly, you're building Fire Blink. I can't show you Fire Blink. Oh, dude, this makes me think the God Builder in this is just not very good. Not very good indeed. And then you go, Thorns is right there. And it's the Thorns that lasts, I think it's 5 seconds, not the one that lasts 3 seconds. The 3-second one, I think, is pretty bad. But the 5-second one is sick. So yeah, there it is. The number 1 god, just farm. I'm telling you, most supports don't scale like that well. They don't scale as much as like the full damage gods. Kuzumbo is not most gods. The King Kappa dominates late game. He's a 1v5 machine. Get him to late game, you will 1v5, and you'll put the team on your back. You'll be tossing around nays, dropping pennas. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Your top 5 gods to be playing in ranked for 10.6. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you guys again next time. Peace.